here the QR codes in case you want to shorten the session, and also the links to the community article and the GitHub repository. So now I will start sharing. Okay, it's about Health Sentinel, a recently built application, and I will start with the challenges, the reason why I've built this. And I will not read this because I think many of these topics here are well known to you. We have ServiceNow as a complex platform. It's growing incredible, but ServiceNow out of the box does not provide any self-monitoring capabilities. We have a tool which is called Instance Observer, but this is only available if you are an impact customer, and you need here the total package to get this Instance Observer tool. This is really cool, this tool. I saw this in action. But for all the customers who don't want to pay this, I was looking for an alternative solution. So therefore, I built this Health Sentinel, and it's available in the GitHub repository for free. So you can load it, you can extend it, you can do whatever you want. Of course, I would be glad if you would extend this application with another sensors. I will explain what a sensor is later. Yeah, these were the challenges I was facing and the reason why I've built this. So the solution or the origin of the solution, the idea goes back to the year 2012. And this year I was guest of an intensive care unit for some days. And during these days, my only option was to lie in the bed and to stare at the health monitor, and also to witness what happens if the heart rate drops below about 30 beats per minute or so. And since then, I have wearing a pacemaker, and monitoring health data has become an integral part of my life. So with this in mind, let's recap this. So we have a object which has to be measured, in my case, a heart. We have a sensor. The sensor can stick on this to the skin, or can also be placed within the heart if you have a pacemaker. Then you have a kind of device which is receiving the input from the sensor. It could be an external monitor or an internal device like a pacemaker. And the most important part here is the signal. The signal which is being sent from the sensor to the monitor. In that case, it's an electrical signal. And depending on the device, on the situation and whatever, there are thresholds. And if one of these thresholds is breached, then a kind of alarm is sent. It can be an acoustic signal on the ECU or anything else. And with this concept in mind, I was thinking about how can this be transferred to ServiceNow. So this was really the beginning. I sat down and I was thinking, what can I use in ServiceNow? How can I transfer this concept? And the most important thing here, I wanted to build something which is free of cost. So the idea was not to consume any licenses, and also not to decrease any custom table count. So, and this was possible. The solution is completely free. No licenses are touched. Only platform capabilities are used, and also no real custom table is leveraged. So now we come to the solution. The heart. This could be any table in ServiceNow, because ServiceNow is built on tables, and we are monitoring tables. Because nearly everything in ServiceNow is stored inside any table. It could be a database table, a pure standard database table, also remote table, or any database view. The sensor, this is what I've built. This is the main part of this Health Sentinel application. It's a custom table sensor, but because it's child of this auto script table, so what we call the schedule job, this table will not decrease your custom table count, because due to the custom table guide, you will see that this table is called exempted. So therefore, you are able to extend this table without decreasing your custom table count. The signal. This signal is represented by a record in the table sys event. I will not explain the sys event concept in ServiceNow. Hopefully you know what it is, but we will also see it then in action. And this is the signal. And the on the end, on the cable, on the line here, we have the well-known concept of script actions, for example, or email notifications or flows. So anything in ServiceNow you can use to receive the sys event or to consume the sys event record and to process whatever you want. And based on your implementation, on your concept, you can also decide on what kind of alert you want to send. As we talk about sys event-based processes, you can do anything in ServiceNow. You can send an email, an SMS, and workflow. It doesn't matter. You are completely free on what you want to do in case any threshold is breached in this application. So I'll go back to here. I just want to see whether everything is working fine, because now I will go to my PDI and showcase this. Okay. If you have loaded this application via Git repository, you will find in the modules a new application, Health Sentinel. I have pre-built some sensors for you. You can take these sensors and copy them. Please don't overwrite these sensors coming from the Health Sentinel application. I just copied one of them. It's called large number of emails are not sent. And you know, in the PDI, you are not able to send any emails basically in a out-of-the-box configuration. So that means we have any problem here. In the real case scenario, you want to be informed if a large number of emails is not sent. The reasons doesn't matter here. There are a large amount of reasons. The result is important. Emails are not sent because they are staying in a send-ready state. So this sensor is, as I mentioned, a child of the sysauto script table, so it's a bit familiar. However, I rebuilt the complete form. I rearranged the field. I also extended with some new fields. And the execution cadence is well known. You can define when the sensor will run, one time in a minute, on a day, in a week. It's up to your scenario. You can define whatever you want. The most important part is the detection criteria tab. Here you define the table you want to monitor. You have a so-called lockup strategy, a finding threshold. So that means if the number of unsent emails is above 100, then this sensor will fire an event or a signal. Here you can also define a condition, and you see at the moment we have over 1,800 records which are waiting to being sent. And here on this tab, signal contents, you define how does your signal contents look like. You can define the event which is being fired. I have two events pre-built. One is for sending email, and another one is a generic event you can use for it, whatever you want, but you can also build your own events. In the event, you can define how many findings will be included. You will see what it means, and you will also define the extracted fields. And you can also simulate it here. In that case, you will see how the signal will look like. This is a large payload, JSON-based, and all the fields here will be included. You have defined before. And now I will just execute one execution I've triggered. And in the below fired events, you see the event. It has been processed. And of course, it's a bit stupid because it was a event for sending an email. Makes no sense if emails are not sent, but just for the demonstration purposes, you can see here an email was created, and I've pre-built a mail script which is extracting the payload and will build a nice-looking email. So this is the email, how it looked like, with a lot of metadata. You see the first 10 findings and the fields you have defined in the sensor. So this is what the operation teams will get in the future. Okay, thank you.